How women's football has developed over time. Women have been playing a style of football for as long as the game has existed. A game called Kuju was played during the Han Dynasty, which was 25 to 220 CE. Two female figures were pictured in the Han Dynasty frescoes. There is uncertainty behind the accuracy of dates, however, the earliest estimates at 5000 BC. 12th century French women played football as part of that era's folk games. Evidence of an annual game in Scotland were reported as early as the 1790s. The first recorded game between women in England took place in 1895.
Kirby's got in here and Arsenal were hesitant and the goalkeeper went back on a line and Kirby nearly beat her at the near post, but the goalkeeper's choice was right. She got back.
You can see Frank Kirby what she's trying to do. She's trying to
1863 laws. Football governing bodies introduced standardised rules to prohibit violence on the pitch. This made football more socially acceptable for women to play, despite the rules being made for men. 13 rules were created that year, with the 10th being, neither tripping nor hacking shall be allowed, and no player shall use his hands to hold or push his adversary. Women's football was extremely popular in the First World War due to employment in the heavy industry spurring a growth in the game, as it had done for men 50 years earlier. Even on Boxing Day, 1917, England played a match against Ireland in front of a crowd of 20,000 spectators. However, in 1921, the Football Association banned the playing of women's football on the grounds that it was distasteful. Many said that it was because the FA were envious of the crowds that ladies' matches attracted.
Smith has options to the right-hand side. Oshwala surely this side. Oh, the touch was very heavy, and another chance is coming on. And Arsenal should have been 2-3, even 4-0 up by now. Looked in a little bit short. Flaherty was there. Here's G. She could score from there, but doesn't. They haven't had many opportunities. Time is dribbling away. They might not get many more.
If there's a player you want the ball to fall to in the box, it's G.
Fun fact. One of the women's matches saw a crowd of over 53,000, more than the majority of men's matches at the time. The match was on Boxing Day 1921 and was between Ditker's ladies and St Helens ladies. The match was held inside Goodison Park, where there were 53,000 people watching, with thousands more locked outside.
And Smith in the middle, there's an expensive slip in there and it very nearly came through to Will Do now! Off the bar!
Formation of the team. Ditker's ladies are said to be the most successful team in all of women's football history. In World War I, women worked in factories to produce ammunition for the war. Due to the physical demand of the work, women were encouraged to join a sporting activity, and so most factories had a football team. This specific team was formed in Preston, Lancashire at Ditker & Co Limited. The team was named after the company that owned the factory before the war to manufacture trams and electrical equipment. The team played 828 games, won 758, drew 46 and only lost 24. And they played for over 48 years.
And this time she decides to cross it. You just think, could she have played it along the floor? Kelly Smith doesn't want the ball to her head. Could she have just rolled it in?
The highest attendance ever in the men's game in England was between Bolton Wanderers FC and West Ham United. They drew a crowd of 126,047 on the 28th of April 1923 at Wembley Stadium. Currently, men's football is the most popular game in the world. It financially and socially overpowers the female game. But after the First World War, women drew more crowds and was more popular than the men's sport. So what happened?
Towards Neil Carter to attack on the Arsenal left-hand side, goes for goal and scores! The opening goal of the 2016!
Masculinity. The women's game was frowned upon by the FA around 1921 as they were envious of the crowds drawn to the female games. However, many people suggest that this was motivated by a threat to the masculinity of the male game. Since then, even after a revival of the women's game, men's football has always been more popular and has continued to be perceived as a masculine game. So this became good, and this was forgotten. Football does not have financial equality across genders. It is understandable. Male games bring higher crowds, with higher ticket costs, creating a higher profit. Players get paid per game, if they score and if they get any assists. You can understand the ticket price, but why a goal bonus is different? A goal is a goal, right? Apparently not. Take Cristiano Ronaldo. He is on a contract that pays him $365,000 a week. This is without sponsorship or any other brands that he supports. Furthermore, Neymar is on a contract that pays him $537,000 weekly. However, the highest female only earns $44,000 a week, but $41,000 of this is from sponsorship. Another major issue is that male football is put forward a lot more. For instance, men's football is aired on TV more often, and the female game is only on rare occasions such as the FA Cup final. Also, have you heard about the Women's FIFA World Cup? Probably not, as it is not shown on TV or given the same publicity as the male game. The development. Current day. Have you ever heard the word football and instantly had to clarify whether you were talking about the male or female game? Or have you spoken about the World Cup and thought, I wonder if that's the female one? The odds are that you haven't. Football gets a label if women are playing. Men get the World Cup, and the women have to showcase that it is the female game, the Women's World Cup. You do not hear a Men's World Cup game is on tonight, because the male gender have priority, and it is not equal. Despite the clear male dominance, women's football has come very far. The popularity is rising, so in the future we may come close to equality. Many more girls are getting into football at a young age, and it is becoming increasingly popular. The difference between men and women in football. Girls play for the love of the game. Boys play for the money you earn.
Holding up against Dominic Janssen, had a really good FA Cup final. Backman, Kirby and
Only 5 years ago, just 4,998 people gathered at Doncaster's Keepmoat Stadium to watch Arsenal beat Bristol Academy.
She always makes herself available for that sort of ball in.
Last year, the final had a crowd of 35,271, making it the third year in a row that the attendance record had been beaten. However, the attendance at Women's 2018 FA Cup final was a massive 45,423, improving last year's crowd by over 10,000.
Eriksson, dangerous ball into there.
The first Women's FA Cup competition was in the 1970-71 season and was called the Women's Football Association Mitre Challenge Trophy, under the ownership of the now defunct Women's FA. Arsenal have won the Cup a record 14 times, but unfortunately lost out on their 15th Cup trophy this year. The final has only been held at Wembley Stadium since 2015, showing the development of the sport.
Now Chelsea have it again.
The SSE are extremely supportive of the development of women's football and promote tickets to ladies and girls clubs all over the country.
Clever player, good effort. Oh, what a goal! Sensational from Ramona Bachmann. From the minute she picks up the ball, she looked dangerous. And Chelsea double their lead. And Emma Hayes has one hand on the FA Cup. And Bachmann has scored 2 goals.
Women's football is one of the fastest growing sports in the world, with 106,910 registered female players in the UK and 1,270,000 481 registered worldwide. Bedford Ladies FC. Bedford Ladies FC is Bedford's oldest female club. It was founded in 1996 and has celebrated over 20 years of women's football. The club has a welcoming atmosphere and allows anyone, no matter the background or if they have played before, to play and helps them to improve. The girls at the club are supportive and work as a team no matter the outcome of the match. Bedford Ladies FC are now a sister club to Arsenal Women, and we were given the opportunity to compete in their first sister club tournament. Due to our teamwork and support of each other, we were able to win the cup. My experience. I have always loved sport, so when my previous school started a football club, I thought I would try it. I attended an after-school club with a coach that ran a club in Bedford. I joined for the under-12 season, not knowing anyone, but now these girls are some of my good friends. I've been playing with the team for almost 3 years now. Throughout this time, my love of football has grown and I could not be happier.
And they look as if they're getting revenge on that Arsenal success in 2016, unless Joe Montemurro can come up with something special. And there's Dan Carter on the bench. There's a World Cup winner on the bench as well in Heather O'Reilly.